Hello and welcome to Ask the Crown. I'm Stephanie McGrain, and today I'm joined by the beautiful Mrs. Southern California America and star of the TV show Container Wars, Deana Molle.
Hey,
Welcome, Deana.
hey. Thank you so much. I always have a little bit of a rhyme to go with my name. Deana Molle. Hey, hey, she's here to stay.
Hey, you're here to stay. I love that. Well, I'm so excited that you're joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited because you know what? I really, truly have to say from the bottom of my heart, pageants are definitely here to stay in my heart. I love them. I probably will someday do the Ms. America senior pageant when I'm 60 plus. So, like I said, I'm here to stay.
I love it. Well, we'll definitely be watching as you compete for Mrs. California America. And of course, any other pageants, including the Ms. Senior America pageant. So excited to have an inspirational woman like you on the show.
Thank you so much. Again, inspirational is all of us. You're inspiring to me as well. You're absolutely drop dead gorgeous, so I don't mind
Oh,
talking
you are
to
so sweet. Thank you. I think
you.
you are beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's always nice to hear amongst our peers how beautiful we are. So we'll keep stroking each other's egos for today, and we'll have a great day.
That sounds fabulous. I like that. Now, I know you are getting ready to interview on the red carpet for the Oscars. Oh my goodness, so exciting. Tell us about that.
That is actually a lot of fun. I actually host for the Dawn Reese show. I am her Mrs. Southern Cal. I'm sorry, so sorry. Excuse me. Let me back that one up again. I am her Mrs. California representative for the Dawn Reese show, and I go out and I host a lot of different events here in Southern California, and I have a wonderful time. I mean, if this is a great way to get on the red carpet, this is actually the best time I've had. This is my second day at the Echo Oscar Gifting Suite. I was there yesterday, saw a bunch of celebrities. I actually saw one of my all-time favorites, Penny Marshall from
Oh,
Laverne and Shirley.
I love her.
I know. When I saw her, I'm like, oh my gosh, because I see myself so much as far as Laverne and Shirley is concerned. Laverne, always very comfortable with her sexiness and everything, but bold and ready to just shoot it right across whatever point she had to get across, she got it across. But she was goofy and she was funny. You couldn't help but laugh at her. So she reminds me a lot of me, but as far as character-wise, from Laverne and Shirley. So when I saw her, Penny Marshall, always remember her as Laverne. So she was actually a lot of fun to see yesterday, and she's a great inspirational to women because she does a lot of charity events, and she's a producer, writer, director, again, an inspirational woman. So yeah, one of the great many celebrities that I saw yesterday.
Well, who are you most looking forward to interviewing?
I really would love to interview Charlize Theron, and she's on the list for today.
Oh,
She will be there probably after about 4 p.m. or so, so I'm looking forward to interviewing her. And the reason why she is so inspiring to me on a personal note, her charity is, I mean, her passion for people, that human touch and everything, is beyond the whole acting as far as who she touches in her, excuse me, as far as who she may touch, feeling-wise, in her moving, in her acting and everything. Everything else that she does that we tend to think it's secondary, her charity work is amazing. She does a lot of amazing charity events and stuff. So she's somebody I really, truly want to interview.
oh my goodness. I wish I could be there with you. I'm so jealous.
You should
How
come
much
out.
I would love to be there. And now I also want to tell the viewers that now you are interviewing on behalf of Don Reese.
Correct.
Yes, and the owner of Pageant Live, Pamela Prevette, and Don Reese do a lot of collaborating together. And we've interviewed many of her title holders on the show, so we're very excited, and we love Don so much.
Yeah, she's an incredible woman. I put myself around women that very much inspire me. Dawn is another person that inspires me. I actually met her, and I don't like putting the 20 years, 25-year mark, but I met her about 25 years ago in pageants. She was actually in a pageant with me, and she was amazing. She was not at all shy to come up to me and tell me, my gosh, you have so much potential. You should keep in touch with me. And sure enough, I did. I kept in touch with her. She actually landed me a couple of background jobs here in California. And one of those background jobs actually had me upgraded, which was a film, or actually it was a reoccurring. It was a show called Silk Stockings. So giving away the age.
Okay.
I had a reoccurring on that, and it was really ironic. And every time Dawn called, she said, Deanna, I have this for you, I have that for you. So she has always been somebody who's been a part of my life when it comes to the entertainment industry, but she definitely is somebody in my life that I tend to look up to and just really, really say to myself that, you know what, she has stayed the same person throughout the years, always trying to help me, always trying to, excuse me, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Anyways, always trying to help me and other people along the way, and she's still that same person. She wants to help whomever comes into her life, and that's what is so great and inspirational about Dawn, and that's why I love representing the Dawn Reese Show.
Well, we just love her. And you're right. It's important to have women who support one another and inspire one another, and just important to have those women in your life who, continue to lift you up.
No, and you're absolutely right. You definitely have to have that core of people who are around you who inspire you with what you're doing. And a lot of us who do pageants want to get into the entertainment industry. And when you have that solid base as far as the family, and in my case, my husband, and everybody else around you, you definitely are going to go really, really far in the entertainment industry.
Very true. Very true. Well, now tell us, do you have a certain designer that you will be wearing and representing at the Oscars?
I do. I have Holt, Holt, Holt Couture. They're based out of New York. They have fabulous dresses. I love their dresses because they're classic and they're beautiful and they fit fabulous. And they sent me quite a few samples already, and I will be wearing 2 of their dresses on one today at the red carpet event that I will be attending, and then on Sunday for the Night of 100 Stars that I also will be attending, I will be wearing a Holt dress. So thank you, Holt.
Awesome. Well, I'll definitely be looking forward to pictures and seeing how gorgeous you look.
Thank you. Again, you feel like a little girl when you do all these different type of events, and it just really, comes to show that pageants don't fade. It's always there, and it's like a little girl going and getting dressed up and doing something fun and everything. But in this case, I'm a grown woman now, being able to interview, other personalities and celebrities on the red carpet. It's a lot of fun. It really is. I'm living a dream right now. I absolutely am.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. And being one of the stars of the show, the TV show Container Wars, how awesome. How did you get involved with that?
Oh, wow. And I'm like, oh, no, just kidding. That was definitely in the making. We started, oh, wow, that casting started 2 years ago, which is amazing. That's how you begin to know that just time flies when you're having fun and you're doing what you want to do and what you have passion for in life. But in this case, my primary passion is treasure hunting. It's what I do for a living. I go out and I shop at garage sales. I shop at estate sales, sometimes storage units, and I find treasure and I flip it on my online business, which is called OC Treasure Queen, and I have 4 other businesses online that I resell my stuff as well. And my family also works with me along my side, and it basically is definitely a lucrative business. My whole family loves it, but I can't help it when I know I have an estate sale to go to at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm up and I'm there at 4:45. Sorry. I'm one of those people. They're like, go away. But you know what? That has definitely gotten me my better deals. And as you've always heard, the early bird gets the worm. Well, in this case, I'm the bird that gets the worm. But that's how it all started, in a sense, where I was told, Deanna, hey, why don't you get into reality television? Your personality would be great. I first thought of, obviously, OC Housewives, which my husband was not in agreement on that show, which I'm glad I did not, basically go with the OC Housewives. But in this case, I definitely prayed, and I am going to bring my faith into this because, one, I prayed and I said, Lord, if I'm going to put myself out there on reality TV, I definitely want it to be me. I don't want it to be a fabrication of what a network wants me to be, but I want to basically stay 100% authentic. And that's a motto that I live by on a daily basis, is to always be authentic and stay true to who you are and yourself. And in this case, when I found out about Container Wars, of course, Storage Wars at this time was at the height. And I said to myself, you know what, gosh, if I can only get a show like that, which I love game shows. I've been on The Price is Right and Let's Make a Deal in the past. So I always loved game shows. And I said, you know what, Lord, I'm going to be specific about this one. I want something like a game show. And I would love to be around men. And I don't mean it in that way, but just with men, you get your business done. The competition is basically to get the business done. When I've worked around women and amongst women, there's that competitiveness. And it has nothing to do with the job. It has to do with the fact, okay, she's younger, she's this, or she's that. And with men, you don't have that. You just get the job done.
Right, right.
Okay, an all-male cast would be wonderful, God. And I know this sounds, again, corny and cliche, whatever, but I was very specific. And when I went to go try out for Container Wars and audition, they initially, told me, we want an all-male cast. Thank you so much for coming in and auditioning for the show, but we'll keep you on file. And I said to myself, no, there's no way that I'm going to walk away with being told that. So I asked the casting director, is the executive producer or any of the producers here, at the office? And she says, you know what, our executive producer is here. And I said, do you mind if I talk with him? She's like, sure. So she brought the executive producer in, and I spoke with him, and needless to say, I was continuing to audition for him, letting him know all about me, letting him know that when I was in third grade, I was always teased by the boys, and I was able to beat up the boys when I was a kid, and even up until my teenager years, I was able to beat up my brother, and I never had an issue being around boys. And I shared with him that I used to work for Coors Light for almost 5 years, and I was around nothing but men. So, I knew what it was like to be around men. So he told me, he says, why don't you come out? Why don't you go ahead and have a, pretty much a day with the guys and see how that goes, but I can't promise you anything. We can probably cast you for one show, and that's it. And I said, no, I'm not happy with just being on one show. I want to be a, full cast member. So I went on set the first day, knowing the fact that, it wasn't all in my favor to basically be cast as a full-time cast member. Well, put it this way, I blew everyone away on set that day, my first time. And from that first day on, I was hired on as a full-time cast member, being the only woman on the show, being against these guys. And if you've seen these guys, they're not nice at all. It's like being in third grade all over again. And you know what? But the point is I get the job done, and that's all that matters to me. And our show is a lot of fun. We're all friends off camera, but when the camera's rolling, it's not fair play. They will definitely do everything and anything that they can to distract me. And I'm even talking about the whole fact that they do pull my bra strap from the back sometimes. And when you see me doing a quick slap back, like, what the heck are you doing? That's exactly what they're doing. They're pulling on my bra strap. And what did the third grade little boy do to you in third grade or fourth grade? Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
It's like dealing with them all over again. It really is. It's a lot of fun, though. It is a lot of fun.
Well, it looks so competitive, and you can definitely hold your own, and you can take care of those men. And I loved how you took control of the show and talked to people, and now you are a cast member.
Well, I think that's the way it is in life as well. You really got to just take control of everything and anything. Yes, of course we don't know what we have in our future, in our destiny in life, but we definitely have a driver's side, and we can take that wheel and drive it either straight, or if not, if we want to pull over and basically have a snack off the road, we can do that. But I love to drive smooth with basically at the speed limit, and I think in this case, for all that it is, I'm definitely going in a great direction, being just on a straight and narrow, and that's the way I like it. I like it to be very simple, very simple.
Absolutely. Okay, well, now I have a question. And watching the show, how do people forget their stuff, or if they know they've shipped it or they're receiving it, and it's, often worth lots and lots of money, but how it's never claimed. So how does that even happen on Container Wars?
Well, basically, the containers in Long Beach, that's exactly what happens. People do not pay their monthly, fee as far as, having their containers there, so they get repoed from the actual container. Or
Okay.
if not, there's bankruptcy in businesses, or if not, there's insurance claims that end up not either or getting paid out, or if not, the insurance company basically says, here, container yard, you can have our container, you pay us out $500 and keep what's inside the container. And so the container yard basically cashes in with the fact, which, pretty much not knowing what's inside the container. And sometimes, the container yards, they get, cars and automobiles inside these containers, which, the banks, or if not in this case, the owner of the container or the company, basically says you can have it for $500. That's the way they make their cash. And that's the way they make their cash on people like us who come in and start bidding on these containers because they know they got those containers at a price that was just a fraction of what the actual cost or what the contents of the actual container is in there. So,
well, that's definitely to your advantage.
Oh yeah, definitely, yes.
So what has been the most expensive item or the best item that you bid on and won?
On Container Wars or off of Container Wars?
Either. I guess overall, whatever you have found was your most treasured item that you found.
Oh, my face is going up. Well, I actually, this was about a year ago. I shopped in a estate sale over here in Orange County. And the owner of the actual estate sale, she knows of me, and she sometimes just calls me out of the blue and says, Deanna, we have 4 boxes of labeled, with, whether it's Christian Louis Vuitton or whether it's Gucci, Chanel, whatever it may be. These people just want to get rid of this stuff because what ends up happening is they have to consign it in their own stores and it stays there for months, when in fact they can call someone like me to come and pick up all these 4 or 5 boxes for $500. Well, anyways, so she called me. She said, Deanna, I have 4 boxes. They're labeled St. John and Chanel, and I know you sell this stuff and you resell this stuff on your online on your online stores. You want to come and pick them up for $100, so $25 a box. And these boxes are those hanger boxes that have the actual hanging rod in them. So you're hanging up business or dresses, okay? So anyways, I'm like, sure, and they're damaged from the outside. They're a little bit wet. You could tell it's all wilted and everything. So I end up taking these boxes, come home. There are 4 vintage Chanel mink coats in one box.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. Next box over, there are several Amen Wardy. And if you know your vintage lines, Amen Wardy was one of the first dressmakers of Valentino. So basically, these dresses used to, they actually used to be worn by a lot of royalty. And I'm talking Princess Grace. If you start doing the actual, research on Amen Wardy, you realize a lot of royalty, a lot of big stars wore these dresses. Anyways, so I basically I have several of these dresses. I don't know, again, how much these items are worth. Long and behold, that $100 that I spent on those 4 boxes that day made me, within, I say, about 4 months it took me to sell these dresses and these minks. I made about $28,000 within 3 months.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And those are those 2 boxes alone. So that right there was probably the best flip I have ever had as far as being a treasure hunter and my best find. And it was very easy to resell these pieces because they were vintage, one-of-a-kind items. And, of course, internationally, my buyers are amazing. They spend, really, to be honest, top dollar for these items. So, yeah, that was my best flip, I would have to admit, my best find. I'm all getting passionate. I'm like, sorry.
What an exciting job. Well, tell us and tell the viewers, when does your show air and when can we see you?
Show airs every Tuesday night on TruTV, and Container Wars basically is a fun show. If you like game shows, you're going to love our show. And I'm the only woman on the show, so come roll me on, please. I have a bunch of guys around me telling me and bullying me in a good way, in a positive way, to distract me from the bidding. But in fact, we're on every Tuesday night on TruTV, so check your local listings. Here in California, it's normally 7:30. On the East Coast, it is 10:30
Well,
p.m.
we'll definitely be watching you.
Thank
And
you.
now I know you've been involved in pageantry for over 25 years. So tell us about that and some of the titles that you've held.
Wow, this is when you say, woo! Remember back in the day, the Soul Train line? We should call it the pageant line. Anyways, geez, I can go as far back as when I was a kid. I grew up a tomboy, and actually, it was kind of a little bit of a joke on behalf of my brother's football team. They said, "Oh, let's nominate your sister for homecoming queen. You know, she's a tomboy. She's not going to like this stuff." So, again, going back to what I'm doing now, it's like, is this history repeating itself? So, these boys nominate me for homecoming queen. That day when I went up to get my crown and my whole banner and roses, I'm standing there like, oh my gosh, what is happening to me? I was 12 years old, okay? But when I felt that crown on my head, I'm like, this kind of feels good. And before the wave came in, and I'm like 12 years old, walking down the football field, and I actually did not want to take that crown off for like 2 or 3 days. I was looking in the mirror, and I actually saw my feminine side, and that's when I started sending into that little bit of a girl, so to speak. 12 to 13, you can finally realize, okay, I'm a girl. No, I don't mean it like that, but I grew up very much a tomboy, and then when it came to high school, I got nominated for prom queen and for homecoming queen, and again, it was secondary because I was in sports, so I loved my sports more than that. But then I had my teacher who approached me, and she says, why don't you go out for your city pageant? I think you'd be great. I think you'd be wonderful. And, I think you should really try this. You can get scholarship money. So that's exactly what I did. I went out for my city pageant, and back in the day, it was Miss Montebello. I ended up winning my very first pageant, which was incredible.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. And, yeah, it was pretty much an addiction from that time on. I got married when I was 21, and found out about the Mrs. pageants, and I ended up going out for Mrs. California, and I won that. And I went on to Mrs. America, and this was back in I think it was 97. Gosh, it's like, wow. And I made top 15 back then. And so I was one of the youngest contestants in that group that year. So I was very honored because, I was amongst doctors, professors, women with 2 or 3 degrees. It was amazing. It really was very much a learning experience. It taught me how to be a better mother, with the fact that I knew I never wanted to be away from my daughter for 10 days again. And so it really overall taught me to just really embrace myself as a woman in everything in my life. And I continued competing with smaller local pageants. And then finally, my next big pageant was in 2001, which was Miss Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. And that was actually more of a pageant that was more towards, I don't want to say there was not personality involved, because there actually was, because we were out there for 4 days having to go out and promote, the race and everything and be educated about it. So we had to know what we were talking about. So, within 4 days we had to cram in, race car driving 101. All about standing on a podium and giving the race car flag to the winner. We had to understand the whole concept of it all and everything. But in this case, that was a different type of a pageant, in a sense where it was more focused on the physical beauty of who you were and how you represented yourself up on stage and everything. So it was a lot of fun, and it was an experience. And that was the last time I did a pageant like that. And then I continued to get involved in different systems, which was the Mrs. California United Nations pageant at that time thereafter. And then I got divorced. And I found out about Ms. pageants.
Yes.
And no shame in the game. And in 2004, 2005 was when I went out for the Ms. America pageant. And lo and behold, I was the first crowned Latina Ms. America in the home Ms. America system. So that was definitely an accomplishment. Shocked beyond my, I was shocked from this day on, I still am shocked that I won such a prestigious title. But with that pretty much said and done, that opened up so many doors for me at the time when I was Ms. America. I was all over the place. Name it, I was on the radio station, I was here, I was there at the parades. I had so much fun, but it was a secondary part of my life. I was a single mom, and it gave me my mojo back.
Oh,
It
right,
really
right.
did. It really gave me my mojo back, and I realized that that strong, independent woman that I basically always knew that I had been, that crown actually allowed me to embrace myself once again and realize that, you know what, a crown can change your life, but you, in fact, as a woman, are the only one who can change your life with a crown and have the doors be open for you. And so that pretty much said and done. I went on to compete in probably half a dozen more pageants, and I always had a great opportunity. I have a very good, I hate to say this, I have a very good winning streak, but it got to a point where I was competing and I no longer felt that nervousness. And I said, you know what? I think I'm beyond pageants now, so I think I need to take some type of other road. And that's how I began to fall back into the entertainment industry. And that's where all the nerves came back. And, here I am.
Well,
But I'm going to be competing again.
congratulations to you on all of your success.
Thank you so much. And I wouldn't be here again if it wasn't for us women being empowered by pageants. And that's why I encourage young women, women of all ages, that, pageants is definitely a platform for who you are in life. And you know what? Truly, truly saying from the bottom of my heart, I'm still the same person as when I competed back when I was 18 years old. And when I had the crown on my head for the first time at 12 years old, and I felt that, it definitely allowed me to be empowered and knowing that I'm female and just know the fact that I can make a difference not only in my life but the people around me. But every day I wear a different crown. There's no doubt about that.
That's right. Well, how do you feel pageantry has really opened doors for you?
That's a cliche question. Okay, it really is, because pageantry has allowed doors to be open for me, but whether I won pageants or didn't win pageants, regardless of whether I had a crown or a title, I would still make that phone call and ask, may I come down to your station and interview, your celebrities that are there for the day or your personalities for the day. So with or without a crown, you still need to be that same driven person to want to accomplish that next step in your life, whether it's being in the entertainment industry or being a better mother or a better wife. You really, really have to instill into yourself. You just want to make that difference within who you're amongst, your family, friends, whoever it may be. You basically just want to move forward because that's what you want to be. It's who you are. It's not what title you are, what kind of crown or how big your crown is that you're wearing. It's about who you are on the inside. Pageantry was just a little bit of an icing on the cake to kind of speed up the whole factor of those doors to be opened. But those doors wouldn't have been opened if I would not have reached out to open that door for it to be opened for me.
I agree with you. And it's not so much as having a crown and that changes things. But I love how you focused on being you and being real and being a driven woman, regardless if you have a crown on or not. And, changing your life and creating, your future and opportunities. I love that.
Well, you yourself, as a titleist yourself, in which you've held a few titles yourself, both you and I know, and again, it's so wonderful to talk to somebody, a host, as yourself. You understand that.
Right.
And, which I tell my husband, my favorite crown to wear most of the time is my wife crown, because I love driving him crazy. Where would I be without having that drama in my life, That's where I'm a drama queen. I love that one. So,
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of realness to it, absolutely, by far. There's so much realism, and that's what women need to realize, is that the whole reality of, who we are or who we tend to take on in pageants, it wouldn't be there without the whole support system. And both you and I know that whether you have a husband, a spouse, significant other, your children, they look at you sometimes like, come on, Mom, or come on, please, do I have to spray tan you again? Or
Exactly.
Job. And they're like, how many titles do you want?
Right. The truth.
So
Now,
true.
You have a nonprofit organization, mentor program for women called the OC Treasure Queen. Tell us about that.
It's very exciting. And with my OC Treasure Queen mentor program, it's open to women of all ages. Lately, it's been a lot of young women. I've actually mentored some of my senior friends who are over 60, and obviously have taught my senior friends, as far as the computer, becoming a little bit more computer savvy and everything, which I wanted to talk because I can become, a little bit more computer savvy myself. But in this case, my younger girls, which they look up to me and are like, "God, Deana, how do you do this? How do you do that? We watch you on Container Wars. You're such a bad person as far as not, and I hate using the whole term bad ASS, but and I don't know if you can edit that, but she's like, and they're always telling me, Deana, you're so upfront with the men, but I'm the same way with women as well, just firm and direct to get the business done and to get the job done. But with the young woman that I mentor, going back again to the simplicity, stay who you are, because the only person who's going to love you as much as everybody or anyone else is you. And once you display that love for yourself, everyone else around you is going to love and respect you for who you are. So why are you going to give them something or a fabrication of who you think they want to see, when in fact, that's not exactly who you want to be? So in this case, when I mentor these girls, I basically put into them, you need to really believe in your confidence. You need to believe that whatever you set your mind to, you're going to accomplish. It doesn't matter whether it takes you months or years. The point is that you're working towards a goal that you're going to end up accomplishing someday, whether there's obstacles involved or not. The point is that you grow along having those obstacles being there. And without them, you wouldn't be who you are today to have the testimony to give to other people. Well, guess what? During this time, while I was going through this happened to me. You have something to share, because the journeys that we all take and that we all walk, what would it be without having different pairs of shoes and being, pretty much where we're at today to, share those stories with one another and each other. So with the mentor program, I basically teach them to just really stay 100% authentic and true to themselves of what they want and what they feel is an accomplishment in life. And sometimes it's not education. And yet I definitely do tell these girls you do need to be educated, or in this case, have your own home-based business so you have always some type of residual income. And with the OC Treasure Queen, it's simple. Who cannot go to a garage sale and shop? I mean, think about it.
That's right, exactly.
And it's something so simple. It really is. And when I teach these girls how to do this, they feel so empowered. And they're like, no, I want more. I want something bigger and better. Da, 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 da. So that's when you're planting a seed and you're continually seeing it grow. But I did start with my family first. I started with my girls. I mentored them, and I saw where it was going with them. And before you know it, their girlfriends were asking, well, how do you do this? How do you sell online? How do you da-da-da-da? Go ask my mom. But before you know it, I had like all these teenage girls here at my house. I'm like, okay, I always wanted a lot of kids. Now here's my girls. And some of them were actually drop dead gorgeous, and they'd ask me, how do you win these crowns? They'd come and try my crowns on. And so that's how that started, as far as training them as well as for pageants. And, and it's still going on. I have 3 girls right now that I'm training for pageants. And it's so much fun, and it's so fulfilling. And I love working around the young girls. It keeps me young, too. It makes me say, oh, yeah, I remember when my butt looked like that.
You are an incredible mentor and a great advice, for those in your mentorship program, and of course, to our viewers and to everyone watching. So I love how you're real, you're true to yourself, you're empowering other women. I think it's fabulous.
Well, thank you so much. Well, you're fabulous too.
Thank you. You're so sweet.
Again, I love this whole circuit of pageants, because we all Google each other and we're like, oh. It's so much fun, and it wouldn't be, this type of a universal, community in pageants if it wasn't for you, myself, and everyone else that we do come in contact with. But the unfortunate part is, yes, we all do not walk away with a crown. Why a lot of us win? I think it really truly has to deal with the whole fact of who we are on the inside. And it's like a paper bag. When you turn that paper bag in and out, it's still the same. It's still brown, But when you want to load it up and put all kinds of stuff in there, it can only hold so much. Before you know it, it's going to tear and it's not going to hold up anymore. And that whole philosophy I live by also is you turn that paper bag inside out, it's still going to be me. No matter how much you fill it up with, it's still going to be brown inside and out. Really.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, tell us, how can our viewers follow your journey? Can we follow you on Facebook, Twitter? What's the best way to find you?
Well, right now the best way to find me is on Facebook. I try as much as possible to answer questions, even from the fans of the show. And I try to be as personable as possible. And that pretty much said and done. I know my husband sometimes is like, oh, get off the phone. Stop tweeting, stop this, stop that. But again, it's my mission field. I'm able to be one-on-one with people, and you can find me on Facebook anytime. So obviously, if the time permits, I will definitely respond to everything and any questions. I always have stuff you can borrow as long as you return it. And I have also my website that's going to be going up, probably I would say by the end of the month, and that's going to have a lot of my availability as far as hosting events. And coming out and obviously speaking to young women in the communities and everything. And it's just my way of giving back and saying thank you for everything that pageants, people that I've met along the way. I am still here and still the same person, and I'm just here to give right back to you, because regardless of what my status is, as big as my jobs may get, I'm still just Deana.
And you are amazing, incredible, and so giving, and such an inspiration, and just lifting women up. It's been an honor having you on the show, Deana.
Well, thank you so much. Well, it's been an honor chit-chatting with you. And I know I've already said this already, but you are so gorgeous. I'm over here just looking at how and everything. I'm like, oh, she's so cute.
And I think the exact same thing about you. Thank you so much. Well, and have an amazing time at the Oscars. Oh, my gosh. Looking for pictures.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of pictures. Now, it's just all about going back upstairs right now, going back through the hair and makeup, which, like I said, as I always tell my husband, okay, I'm going to go put my drag on. I'll be back. And, my husband loves it. And there's that tomboy side of me, too. But glamming up is always a lot of fun. But being out there and out and about doing exactly what I do, it is a job, but, I love it and I enjoy it. And I know for a fact it shows. It really does. And my journey,
absolutely.
Yeah, my next journey is obviously going out from Mrs. Southern California, for Mrs. California, and going back another second time to Mrs. America. And you know what? Hands down, whether or not I win or not, that's not the whole, point. It really is. The fact is the journey. It is so much fun and so many people that you come in contact with. But I won't be surprised if I do win. I'm just kidding.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I think you're going to win. Deana, when is your pageant?
The pageant's in June. Mrs. Southern California America is in June. It's going to be in Palm Springs. And I believe Mrs. America, obviously, is going to be in Arizona. And I believe that's in August or September that they have it planned. But, we'll see what happens. But otherwise, everything's wonderful. My career, everything. It's just pageants is so much fun for me. It's my sport. And I can't get away from it regardless. So it's always so
That's right. Fun. Once that pageant bug bites, I think it's there for good.
I think so. So true. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you, and I wish you much continued success. And I've loved having you on the show, and I hope you can come back and join me again.
Oh, I'm sure I will, and a lot more stories, but hopefully more stories of girls that I mentored who are going on and changing not only their personal lives, but people around them also. Again, it's something, the legacy that I hope to that they carry on, because again, young women are definitely near and dear to my heart, and I always want them to truly, truly believe that they can do anything that they can set their minds to. And I'm going to close it from here on. And again, the motto that I live by daily is to stay 100 truly 100% authentic to who you are on the inside, because that's the only way people are going to believe who you are.
Love it. Great advice. Very true. Yes, viewers, remember that because that is the truth to live by.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
having me on the show. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you, Deanna. And thanks to all of the viewers for tuning in. And be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Deanna.
Bye, gorgeous. See you soon.
Bye,
Hopefully
see
see you.
you.
Hopefully see you on the red carpet soon.
Oh, gosh, I hope so. I would love that.
All
Bye
right,
bye.
sweetie. Bye bye.